Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fundy Motorsports Magazine. I'm Dave Hanlon, and on tonight's show, if you ever wondered what it's like to be in a monster truck or what it's like to own a monster truck or drive one, we're dedicating the whole show tonight to monster trucking, and we've got an interview with the owner of Borus, the monster truck.
It's a 1990 Ford F-350, 604 cubic inches of blown injected engine. I want to tell you, this is quite a vehicle. 1,600 horsepower, 2.5-ton transfer case, 12 feet high, 12 feet wide, 15,000 pounds, and it makes a little bit of noise. A very, very pretty, meticulously built vehicle. Borus the monster truck from right here in St. John, New Brunswick. Larry Albert Jr. Yeah, 1,600 horsepower there, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see them crushing cars here just after a little while, our evening finale.
What you just seen was Borus, the monster truck, at last year's A&E Truck and Tractor Pull. With me right now is Larry Albert Jr. He is the owner and, well, I guess you could say proprietor of Borus, the monster truck. How you doing today, Larry?
How you doing, Dave?
Good. I guess first thing people really want to know is Borus obviously is a very big truck. What exactly, like, how did it all start? Like, what did you actually start out with?
Well, first we raced in the mud, and we did a little bit of truck pulling and stuff, so one day we decided we were going to build a better pull truck or whatever, so me and my wife and my mother and father, we drove down to Syracuse, New York, because they had a big truck pull there. So when we were down there, they had 6 monster trucks down there, so. And then we looked over them and stuff, and we watched the show and stuff like that. So then after, when we come back, instead of building a pull truck, we built a monster truck.
Changed your mind awful quick, in other words.
Yeah.
Now, did you just, it's a Ford.
Yeah.
Did you start out with like an old Ford truck you found out in the field somewhere, or?
The frame we built ourselves, and the housings we modified them. They're 5-ton top-loaded military with steering knuckles and planetaries off a 25-ton cherry picker. But the Ford cab was off my father's truck.
So Dad didn't want the truck anymore,
no,
so you just decided to take it.
Well, we needed a cab, so we took his truck, so he ended up walking.
So you couldn't drive him to work in that, obviously.
No.
Now, what I've always wanted to know about monster trucks is yours an automatic or a standard?
No, it's an automatic C6.
It is an automatic?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just wondering, like, you know, you're going over, because I've heard them say that, you know, they had to gear up and gear down in certain trucks. Now, I suppose when you get into the bigger fields, they do have standards, or is it basically all automatic?
No, it's all automatic.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too hard to shift when you're in mid-air.
Well, I know some people who could do it, but I suppose you are right. As far as the tires go, now, did you have to order these tires in, or can you get them around St. John?
We ordered ours in from Sumner Tire, and it took about 2 months to get them in, because it was special order, and it had to come up from the States and stuff. So not too many people use them.
Yeah, it was a special make of tire just for Borus? Or?
No, they're used on lime spreaders and anything that's got to do with bog that goes out in the swamps and stuff. That's what they're mostly used for. Like big tree skidders.
Yeah. Now, you said you were into mud bogging before you actually get into monster trucking.
Yeah.
Did you have to do a lot of modification to go from mud bogging to monster truck?
Well, the only thing we used for mud bogging was just the cab. The cab, the frame, and everything else we built at the shop. So it wasn't too much trouble. Everything was built from scratch. So.
Yeah. As far as weight goes, in mud bogging you'd have to be, well, obviously pretty light.
Yeah, as light.
That.
Well, mud bogging, there's really no rules for weight, but you'd be as light as you possibly can.
Now, with monster truck, I know there is rules as far as the weight restriction. What are they?
Monster truck is 10,000 pounds. That's through MTRA, if you want to race MTRA rules. So.
Which is what you race?
Most times, yeah. But it's not too much in Canada. It's only down in the States.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Now, speaking of racing, you have done a few competitions down in the States, as far as Maine, I think you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gone up against some of the bigger trucks? Or at least met the guys?
Well, we belong to the association, so we pretty well know them all and stuff. But we did 16, 18 shows with like Black Stallion, Barefoot, Little Barefoot, and Keystone Crusher, and Top Gun, the Monster Tank, Predator, Monster Truck, Predator, Monster Tank, Goliath, Monster Tank. So we've pretty well seen a few of them anyways.
Yeah. Have you, getting back to the weight of the truck, have you lightened your truck up?
I'm building a new frame for it now. We're going to lighten it right up to 10,000 pounds.
Okay, what's your frame? The one you got on it now, it's made out of what?
It's 3x8 rectangular tubing, and the new one is 3x5. We're hoping to lose 4,500 pounds somewhere in amongst that steel.
Just out of curiosity, what does the truck weigh?
The truck, this one, it weighs 14,500 pounds. So
that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
No wonder they call them crushers.
Yeah.
Now, well, later on you're going to get to see a clip of Borus actually crushing cars out at the A&E last year.
Yeah.
Safety-wise, in the truck, obviously you have to wear a helmet.
Helmet. Neck brace.
You do have to wear a neck brace.
I get a special racing seat. It's bottomless. It's wire. It's knitted in the bottom, sort of like it's.
Okay. Almost like a hammock.
Yeah. So when you hit, your back doesn't get a big strain when you from the monster truck, and a 5-point harness.
So you do wear the 5-point harness
and a fire suit because it's an alcohol motor.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you. What kind of fuel do you run in it?
Alcohol.
Pure alcohol, or?
Yeah.
Just pour it right in the gas tank?
Pour it right in the gas tank.
Now, your engine, you and I were talking earlier, you said your engine is only good for 16 hours? 16
hours, yeah.
Now, is that full lifespan of the whole engine, or?
Well, no, it has to be tore apart, new rings, new rod bearings. It has to be freshened up, we'll say. Everything has to be all checked, re-gauged, and stuff. Because the motor is a dry block. There's no water running to it. It's good. It can run for 12 minutes with no water. So it takes a beating because it gets hot.
Yeah, and no doubt with alcohol it gets a little hotter than it would with just regular gasoline.
Well, alcohol runs cold though. Alcohol,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It frosts up the hat up on top of the motor where the injectors are.
Yeah.
Injectors are. It freezes that right up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything special like in the engine? I know I don't want to give away some of your trade secrets, but like as far as a tunnel ram or a blower or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a 604 cubic inch blown injected alcohol. It's the compression ratio for the pistons is 12.5 to 1. It's got Cobra Jet heads. The block is SVO, Special Vehicle Operation Ford. Pretty well everything on the truck is Ford. We're Ford fanatics.
Yeah, well, hey, it's good to stick with one.
Yeah. But it's running an 871 Mooning hand blower with fuel injection.
Yeah. So it is. Now, the fuel, as far as fuel injector goes, is that it? So basically, it is a fairly new engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's not something from a ~79 Ford or something like that.
No,
remodified.
No. The motor was built in Tucker, Georgia, down in the States.
So you had to order that as well.
Yeah. It took a little over 2 months to have it built.
Really? Now, as far as the engine goes, mounting it in the truck. I know, like you look under the hood of most cars or most trucks, and they're mounted in, but they're mounted so that they can sway back and forth. Is this the same with Borus, or?
No. On the truck, everything is mounted solid. There's no rubber or nothing. There's no give. The cab, the box, everything is, the motor, the transmission is bolted solid.
And this, there's no chance of it breaking off or anything like that?
No chance of it for twisting or anything like that, so everything's solid.
So, basically it's the tires that absorb all the shock.
Yeah.
How big are the tires exactly?
The tires are 66 inches high, 43 inches wide. Oh, big tire. They weigh about 1,000 pounds apiece.
So it's not something, if it falls off, you can't just lift it and put it back on the truck yourself. Although you have to get an awful big jack to jack the truck up. How much air is in them?
These tires here, they all run pretty well, about 10, 11 pounds.
Now, why is that?
The less air you can run in the tire, the less bounce you'll have with the truck going over the cars, and that's what you want. The less you're in the air, the more you're on the cars, the quicker you're across the finish line.
So basically, what you want to run is almost a flat tire.
Yeah.
Across
well,
it. Yeah. Now the rims, are there special made rims for the tires, or?
They do make rims for them, but we made our own right at the welding shop. So.
Like all you did was just like take two rims and put them together?
Pretty well.
Welded them together?
Pretty well.
Yeah, there's a little bit more entailed to that.
Some plate and
yeah.
Did some machining and stuff like that, so.
With suspension in this, I notice in this picture we have here, there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, at least 6 shocks on each tire.
Yeah, well, there's 5 on each side.
Okay, I can't count then.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 5. Why so many? Why not just have like 2 on each or whatever?
That's a good question.
Like, does this actually help it?
It does in a way, because there's a lot of, the shocks have to take so much of it. The tires will only take so much. The springs, it helps the springs take the rest, because as the spring comes up, you need the shock to cushion more.
Yeah.
The more of the force. The easier it lands, the easier it is on my back.
This is true too, yeah. And you've also got like anti-sway bars in it, so.
Draw bars, yeah.
Yeah.
To stop the housing from walking, due to the fact with the big tires on it. And
now, one thing I've always wanted to ask someone who's driven a monster truck, have you ever flipped it?
I come close.
You've gone. I know you've.
That's a bad word.
You've done not brake stands, but you've done like wheelies and donuts and everything, and you've gone right up on 2 wheels going around. But you've never flipped it?
No, that's a bad word in the racing circuit. Flipping it. It costs you money when you flip it.
That's very much.
Yeah.
Now roll cage.
It's got a 5-point roll cage inside.
And that is mandatory.
Yeah.
As far as all monster truck
MTRA rules and everything. Yeah.
And is it just in the cab, or cab and engine compartment both?
Well, it's just in the cab right now, but they upgraded the rules to have 2 bars from the back of the cab right through the box, and then 2 bars from the front underneath the dash to the engine block for better support. I guess they found that the roll cages have been squashing in, so they changed a few little things.
Okay. No, since you're running alcohol in the engine, is your firewall, did you have to like modify your firewall at all, or?
No, not really. The
Like,
original firewall in the truck is good for that.
So you can get away with doing that?
Yeah.
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 Now, they say, well, you said earlier that the lighter the truck, the better it is, like, to go over the cars and all that. Most cars, or most trucks you see going across, like, they have all these little things on it, like, you know, they got the flag, and they've got all the lights, and, you know, they've got the certain little things. Wouldn't that weight it down a bit, or that little bit that wouldn't really matter? No,
that little bit sometimes wouldn't matter, but when they do build a truck and they finish it and they weigh it, if they got to add weight, they add lights, they add a little bit more steel here and there in order to bring it up to 10,000 pounds. Like, it depends on the guy, but the lights, a little bit of lights would never hurt.
Yeah, so you can't go under 10,000 pounds, in other words?
No.
That is your mandatory weight?
That is the mandatory weight. Yeah.
Okay, with the box in the back, I know you don't really go fast. How fast have you got Borus up to?
65.
65?
65,
And was that just a flat-out race, or?
That was 2 cop cars chasing me. We did a little show down in Maine.
Okay.
And
I want to know why 2 cop cars are chasing you.
Well, it was a stunt. They purchased a sheriff's car down in Maine, and they got me to go out on by the highway to get onto the highway, and I drove down the highway onto this guy's road, back into where all the people were in the grandstand and stuff, and they got the car to cut me off as he was chasing me. So he was chasing me down probably about 1/8 of a mile down into this guy's, to where the event was and stuff. So then he cut me off, and then we said a few words, and then I ran over his cop car. So it was quite a scene. It was
and it was all planned out.
Yeah, it was all planned out, and the people really loved it.
Then no one knew the wiser.
No.
They thought it was a real cop car.
They thought it was a real cop. Well, it was a real cop car because it was purchased on an auction from the sheriff's department. So, and down the states, they had 2 security guards, and they had guns, because down there you're allowed to wear guns, and here you're not. But so they were dressed up right to the T.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So it's got up to 65. Now that's with the tires that you have on it.
That's with the tires on it, the 66 inch. Yeah.
If you put different tires on it, would you be able to get up higher, maybe, or?
Well, we got little tires for it that we transport it, and the fastest the truck would be able to go with them is 7 miles an hour, and they're transport truck tires. So
the bigger the tire, the faster.
The faster you go.
Well, yeah. The
more revolution.
More revolution, more rotation. Easier on the engine too.
Easier on the engine, yeah.
Yeah. Now, back to the engine. You don't run a radiator in that.
Nope.
Why is that?
That engine's a dry block. That's the way it was built. It doesn't run no water, no antifreeze, no nothing through it. It can run for 12 minutes.
And after that, you've got to shut it down or rebuild an engine.
Yeah. The hardest part I had so far was when I'm racing against other monster trucks. If I go up, I race, I win, I got to come back, race another monster truck, and then when I win again, I got to come back and race the same fella, so my motor's quite hot. By the time I finish that racing the third guy.
Yeah, with all the stopping and starting on the line too.
Yeah.
Like if you have false starts or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. 12 minutes doesn't seem long sometimes.
Yeah. Has it ever overheated on you?
Well, the highest I had it, I think, was 240 degrees. So that ain't too bad. I don't like to keep it there too long.
That's when you get the eggs out and start cooking breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, you want scrambled or fried.
Yeah.
Okay. Aerodynamics on the truck. Does it really matter to have it aerodynamic?
No.
Because you're not really going to high speed.
No. There's no. We're not in the fuel economy.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, if you're running alcohol.
Yeah.
Your weight distribution. Where's the center of gravity on it? Like, do you have to keep the center of gravity pretty low?
The lower center of gravity, the less chance you have of flipping over.
Which is a naughty word in
Which
this
is
business.
a naughty word. Yeah. Yeah. Before I used to run a roll bar, one of them phony roll bars in the back of the truck. I've taken that out. I'm trying to keep all my weight to the bottom. I cut the box liner out inside. I'm taking all the door panels off. I'm trying to lose as much weight as I can up top to keep it all down the bottom.
So you couldn't just transfer the weight from up to down.
No.
Like if you cut all this stuff out, wouldn't that lighten the truck up?
It'll lighten the truck up. It'll keep most of my weight to the bottom, which most of it is. And that's where less of a chance of flipping over. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
That's great.
And
nice talking to you.
When's your next event?
Fredericton, in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks' time.
At Exhibition Park.
So that'll be, by the time this show is shown, it'll be next weekend. Okay, and maybe back in St. John? You're not sure?
They're talking about a show in September.
So there is a possibility.
There is possibility. They're trying.
We'll see you back here again.
They're trying, yeah.
Well, I hope we do. Hope you win a couple, too.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
We'll see you later, Dave.
We'd like to thank Larry Albert Jr. and his family for letting us into his home to conduct that interview. Larry is the owner and driver of Borus the Monster Truck. He co-owns that with his dad. Coming up in future shows on Fundy Motorsports Magazine, custom cars. Strange, maybe a little unusual for some cars. As well, we'll have more stock car racing and more motocross racing. On behalf of producer Don Ferguson, I'm Dave Hanlon for Fundy Motorsports Magazine. Keep motoring. We're going to leave you with a clip of Borus the Monster Truck in action.
1 year. The Gators riding Smithson tonight. I see it on that side. Here he comes, the wheel stand run. There he goes. Simply Irresponsible. Up and over and bouncing away. First one to go. Let's hear it for Simply Irresponsible. He's going to make a back run, too. You get 2 chances to watch him. Going to come back over the other way, so be set, be ready. Get your cameras out. Simply Irresponsible is about ready to make his second half of his run. He's getting ready to go. Coming up to the car, getting lined up. He'll then back up and make a run at the cars. Watch the front end of this truck go up in the air. This is the wheel stand contest. David Richard from East Ballastboro, Maine, and Simply Irresponsible. He's getting ready to make a run at this. So keep your eyes on this vehicle. Our monster truck show here at A&E, and here he comes. Let's see those wheels fly from Simply Irresponsible. And those cars are crushed some now. Let's have a big hand for David Richard and Simply Irresponsible from East Valsboro, Maine. Our first competitor tonight in a monster truck contest doing the wheel stands for us. Thank you very much, David. And as soon as he turns the truck around, we'll be looking for the other monster to come out. From St. John, New Brunswick, Larry Albert Jr. in Borus. The Maritime Monster Truck. 1,600 horsepower starting up down there in the back, on the front stretch rather. And he'll be coming up and making his run to do a wheel stand. He'll be out next. Remember, Larry's the most experienced of the two in this monster truck business. Been at it for 3 years now. Jumped over a lot of cars and crushed a lot of metal with this truck. Okay. And here comes Borus. 604 cubic inches. About ready to crush some cars, yeah. And here he comes, coming up to the cars, lining up. Get your cameras ready to watch the wheels fly as Borus heads out over these cars. Backing up. Here he goes. He's getting lined up. He's getting ready. Here goes Borus. Up and over. How about that for Borus, the monster truck? Stood it right on its end. Whoa! What a show from Larry Albert Jr. Stood it right on its end. He's coming back. He's going to make another run. Here he comes. Get your cameras ready. This is run number 2 in the wheel stand contest. Here comes Borus. Larry Albert Jr. Whoa! Up and over one more time. Let's hear it for Larry Albert Jr. and Borus Monster Truck. Okay, let's let Larry hear some of that applause. What do you think of that wheel stand run? Yes, sir. Borus from St. John, the winner by far in the wheel stand contest, standing that truck right on in and keeping control and going up and over the cars. What a job for Larry Albert Jr. Woo! How many people thought that was going to upset? I did for sure. That's the first part of the show, but we're not done yet. Right now, we're going to have a drag race between these two trucks, between Borus and Simply Irresponsible. They're going to go heads up in a drag race. The only difference is they must run over the 5 cars in front of them, then turn and come back and run over them again. Oh, Borus is ready for this one. He's ready to go. Ready to go. Getting lined up at the line now. Get your cameras ready. This is the finale of our show this evening. The two monsters are backing up. They're all lined up. Starter getting them in position, so they're right on. They're all set to go. Waiting for a signal from both starters. Okay on the right side. Okay, getting everybody in position. This is the drag race portion. This should be fun. Keep your eyes on this. Simply Irresponsible up against Borus the Monster Truck. Chev against Ford. There they go. And now they must turn around, but Simply Irresponsible looks like it might have stopped. I don't know if we have a problem with Simply Irresponsible or not. It seems the vehicle's not going to start. Maybe something on hook. Borus taking lots of time because he knows he's got lots. He wants to have a race out of this. He's waiting for him. Saying, ha, 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 my Ford's still running, your Chev isn't. Good sportsman, Larry Albert, giving the Chev every chance to get going. Isn't it great to own a Ford and have it all running and have a Chev not running? Uh-oh. And Larry Albert Jr. is going to continue the race. We know he's going to win. There he goes, up and over with Borus. An easy winner. Maybe he'll make another loop and come back. Who knows? Yes, he's going to. He's going to make one more run. Borus will put on the show for you. Just ask him. Here comes Borus, the monster truck, with one more run up and over the cars. Have your cameras ready. Here comes Borus, ready to go. He's going to step on it. There he goes. And the easy winner for a monster truck competition tonight, Larry Albert Jr. and Borus, the monster truck from right here in St. John. Listen, a big hand for Larry. Stay back off the track, folks. Simply Irresponsible's back running again. He may want to crush some cars some more. Let's give the boy a chance. Come all the way up from East Bellsboro, Maine. Simply Irresponsible is running, so please stay back off the track area for one more moment. We'll see what they're going to do. There he goes, and Simply Irresponsible. He may turn around and make a run back over the cars. Please stay back off the track, folks. Stay back off the track. The monsters are still running. Stay back off the track area. Please stay back. Here he comes. He's going to run over those cars. He's going to finish his race. Here he comes. He's going to give you your money's worth before he goes home.